Hey there YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. How the heck are you? This is my second video making today on the same topic of a playlist made by a guy by the name of Mark Freelander. So this is a good chance for you to get in on this music if you've never checked this band out. It's an obscure band. They weren't really played on the radio a little bit locally. They won a bunch of awards locally. And they were on TV. They did the Chitlin circuit. They really tried their best to make it to the top. They even held an audition with Clive Davis, the guy who signed Kiss and Mariah Carey, and his thoughts were that he didn't know how to market them because they were so diverse. That's what he said. I could sign these guys, but I wouldn't know what to do with them. Anyway, I'm really twisting your arm to check this out. We're going to go over and take a look at the playlist, which is on Spotify. This is some really great music. I found some stuff on here I had never heard before and was just blown away at the quality, the production. A lot of this stuff was songs I had heard before, but they were different versions of them. So this is really exciting for me. And we're going to quickly go through and talk about some of the bands and who these guys are, in case you don't know. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was before COVID. Well, I found out during the lockdown that what was going on was a Raisins reunion. They were coming back. And then COVID happened. So my logical thinking would be that that's going to happen at some point. So if you check this music out, there's that side bonus that more people are going to be getting into it, and the chance for this incredible. They're a dinosaur band. They're old guys, but not that old. They can still lay it down. Trust me, these guys they're the finest at their craft. They're players. They're great songwriters, and certainly at this time of their life, they're at that peak. The ability to write good music, So let's go over and take a look at what this is all about. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Raisins, Dots, Bears, Fetters, Nyswonger, Bammy, Ricky Nye, Deathy, Belew. So Adrian Belew, Rob Fetters, singer, songwriter, guitar player, singer, bass player, songwriter, Bob Nyswonger. Bam Powell is a drummer he was a Raisins drummer who has a little bit of a solo thing going on. And Ricky Nye is a very talented piano/keyboard player who has a band called the Bluebirds. Deathy is the nickname for Chris Arduser, who is just a multifaceted, very interesting person. He is a producer, singer, drummer extraordinaire. And I got to stress that producer because I was listening to his solo stuff and stuff he did with his band, The Grave Blankets, and it just blew me away at the quality of the production. Adrian Belew deserves no introduction. The Bears was the band with Belew, with these other three guys. Basically, when the Raisins fell apart, Belew asked Rob about joining forces, and they put together this band with these guys and Belew, which was known as the Bears, and they did 2 albums and 2 world tours, and then the record label fell apart, and Belew went on to his semi-successful solo career on a major label and playing for Bowie on the Sound and Vision tour. The Dots, that's the Raisins, or the Bears. After Belew left, they continued on, and the Raisins is the band that started it all, going back to Cincinnati. So here we see Raisins, Psychodots, and then Tickled Pink. Now, Tickled Pink is the bass player, as well as Bam Powell, the drummer from the Raisins, and another guy, Scott Kovret, who is a guitar player who played he was associated with the Raisins. I'm not sure how, but this is some really good music. Some of this Tickled Pink stuff is amazing, and this band is still going. You can see them playing in bars in Cincinnati. So we have Thugs. This is a song. I heard the Raisins do this. Bam Powell and his Troublemakers. We have Bears music, Raisins music, Psychodots music, Was that some solo Rob Fetters that I missed there? More Bears, Psychodots. And I mean, what's interesting about this is that everybody in each of these bands is writing. So it's a lot more versatile than what it looks like. This looks like, oh, it's all the same couple of bands. Well, each band, everybody in the band is writing, and they all have distinct writing styles, which is one of the perks to being a fan of this stuff. Is, oh, this song is clearly a song written by Deathy, the drummer. Or this song, I bet you this one was written by the Ratfink himself, Rob Fetters. Oh no, it's not. That song was written by the unscrupulous Bob Nyswonger. Bad Bob. Just an incredible songwriter. I'm partial to Bob's songs. In my opinion, and I don't know why this stuff, I guess it was loading when my internet crapped out on me, so I've got to reload it. Because it gets kind of a little bit more diverse. Yeah, here we go. Chris Arduser solo stuff. You're going to want to pay attention to... I really like this bucket stuff. This bucket had a lot of kind of Americana feel to it to me. Here we have some Fetter solo stuff and some belew solo stuff. Some obscure belew. So this is a really good song. So yeah, this set list, this playlist, excuse me, it has a lot of really incredibly great music on it, and I would encourage you to give that a shot. So if you check it out and you end up digging it, maybe you end up becoming a lifelong fan like I did. You know, like we saw these guys play live, and I didn't know any of the songs, and on the second song, I looked at my wife and I said, I think these guys are really good. And little did I know, like, how much I would become obsessed with this music, how much time it became like the soundtrack of our life, was listening to this stuff. So I'm here to share that with you. I know I've talked about this stuff a lot in the past. I keep banging the drum for Rob Fetters on this channel because how much I have gotten off on his art, his music. I just love the guy's work, but he's not the only talented guy in these bands. All of his bandmates have proven to be really incredible talents when it comes to songwriting and even production. In the case of Chris Arduser, his Grave Blankets and his solo stuff is amazing. So I hope you can spare some time and keep your mind open to hear something really good. Going back to 1980, you can find this video that was broadcast on local TV WEBN. It's a show called Rock Around the Block, and this shows them in 1980. They do a blistering hour, maybe hour and 15 minute set. It's the Raisin Band, and man, they are so good. Well, Adrian Belew wanted to be in that band. He wanted to do something with those guys. Most times when people talk about the Bears, they go, Adrian Belew's band, the Bears. It was not his band. He was a fan of them. He used to go to the bar and watch them play. He produced their first album. And when it finally fell apart, Ratfink called Belew and said, hey, I quit. And he said, great, let's put a band together. So that's something that sticks in my craw. It's really a minute point that the Bears really wasn't Adrian Belew's band. The Bears was the Raisin Band, was the Raisins, in a sense. I mean, he initially, I know that Larry London, Elvis Presley's drummer, was the guy who really was in place to be the drummer, and health issues came up. But hey, I'm just parroting all this stuff. What do I know? Check the music out. This is a great, 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 great set list from Mark Friedlander. I'm doing another more in-depth video on this where I tell the story how I discovered this music. So this is a two-part series. So if you're really digging it and you like the sound of my voice, you can put these songs on and then check out my video, listen to me narrate how I ran into this music and how it ended up just dominating the playlist of our life. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you do, and peace.